Oh my goodness. That is why I bought this car. Every time you get in it, it is just exhilarating. Hello friends, exciting video today because we saved an endangered cat. So here it is, my friends, our new Jaguar F-Type 75. I absolutely love this thing. It's amazing, although it's very dirty. I did actually get this washed yesterday, but it's the UK and it's winter, so you drive down the road and it gets caked with grime and stuff from the roads from when they salt it. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little look around the car, the exterior, the interior, tell you why I got this over its competitors and why I got this one over the R75. And yeah, I still can't believe I managed to find this car because they've stopped making them now. But we absolutely love this thing. My fiance Domi also loves this thing, which is an amazing win. She actually chose this car over the competitors. To be honest with you, as soon as I drove this one, I fell in love. And technically, it is actually her car because she pays for it, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, let's have a little look around and show you how great this car is. No car has made me as giddy as this one has to drive every single day. Oh, it's just so great. Let's have a little look around. So this is the 75 edition. So it's paying homage to the launch of the E-Type, which was launched 75 years ago. So it's got a few little cool features, such as a blacked out badges and a few quirks on the interior, which I'll show you around. But I know I'm biased, but I do think this is one of the best looking cars of recent times. And just look at it. But anyway, we've got nice 20-inch alloys there alongside the beautiful Windsor tan interior. This is what I was looking for 4 months. Me and Domi just really wanted a tan interior. I mean, there's so many F-Types with black interiors, but they just don't look as special as this. I mean, look at that, it's even got quilting on the side there. And for the price point, I think this is one of the best interiors on a sports car you can buy. Yes, a lot of people say that the center console is dated, and yes, it is about 10 years old, but it works, it looks good, and you know what? All you're gonna do is hook up your Apple CarPlay, which connects instantly, and that's all you need to do. And look guys, climate controls right there, that's all you need. Again, these seats are actually really comfortable. I know they didn't look it from the first time you look at them because they're quite thin, but I've done a 4-hour road trip in this car and it was so comfortable, and they're heated and ventilated and they keep you in nice and tight. It's great, absolutely love it. So I'll show you more of that when we go for a drive. Again, it's got nice seamless doors here, which I really like. Again, come around to the back. You've got the quad tailpipes. I mean, just look at that. I mean, that's probably one of the best sights you'll ever see. And yes, they are real. I mean, these are the most real exhausts I've ever seen. They literally spit out petrol when you start the car up. Look at that. I'm going to show you the boot because, super surprisingly, it's actually quite big. I mean, when we went to my parents for Christmas, we managed to fit so much in here for a 5-day stay down with them, including presents for everyone. So it's deceivingly big because it goes in the side there, and it's got some under storage here. And yeah, absolutely love it. I'm super impressed. It doesn't have an electric tailgate, which the R has, but I don't really think you need that for a sports car. And I mean, this thing just looks great. I'm just super happy that we managed to find one. Again, guys, so I think it's time we go for a drive and have some fun. I just texted the farmer that let me use his driveway. Lovely man. I was actually in a car park over there. He was driving past, and he came to compliment the car, and then there was a bunch of construction going on in the background. It was super loud. He's like, oh, just come use my driveway. And I was like, so lovely. This car gets so much attention, especially from the older British gentlemen. I mean, understandably, it's a Jag after all. Oh, right, let me... it's not a good start, is it? Trying to put on the seatbelt. So, this is, again, the 5-litre supercharged V8. This one is producing... What noise was that? Oh, it was a text. It was the farmer. He said, excellent to meet you. I told him, because we're getting a wrap next week, I said once it's wrapped, I'll come and show you and we go for a spin. He's a massive petrol head, and I just found that absolutely hilarious. I loved it. So I've got, because it's currently 2 degrees outside, I've got the heated steering wheel on, I've got my heated seats, which I never saw anyone mention this, but the heated seats that they use, wheel spin. And it's a 4-wheel drive. This is what I'm going to get to. This car, even though it's 4-wheel drive, it's an absolute handful. But going back to the heated seats, it's the first heated seats I've ever used, which instead of using the coils to heat the seat, it pushes hot air through little vents in the seat to warm it up. Like, it's basically just a heated, ventilated system, because it also has cooled seats. So I guess that's why they have it. Oh, nope. So why did I choose the Jaguar F-Type? Now, there were 4 contenders. There was the Porsche 911. We were looking at the 992 Carrera S variant for my price range. Second option was the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, 2019 to 2021. And the third choice was the AMG GT, anywhere from 2017 to 2022. The Jaguar wasn't even on my list. I was like, no, these are the 3 cars that I want. And me and Domi just decided to go on a bunch of test drives. Now, I just need to get out of this area so we can go on some better roads. But it's got a nice start-stop feature here, as most cars do nowadays. This sun is so bright. But anyway, back to the choices. So we test drove, there's an Aston Martin DB7 there, classic. So we went to go test drive the Porsche 911 end of September last year. And I was like, right, I'm going to finally test drive one. I want to get out of my Audi RS5 just because it was too much of a boy racer and I didn't really want to be associated. It was white on black. I mean, you couldn't go more boy racer than that. We went for a test drive. They actually gave us the car and they were just like, go ahead, have some fun, which was brilliant. But unfortunately, as we were driving it, now don't get me wrong, 992 Carrera S is an amazing car. It was so dialed in. It was incredibly fast. I was again, for it only being 450 horsepower, this was the 4S variant, it was insane. I think that's due to the lightness and just the engineering that Porsche puts into it. But it was incredibly uncomfortable. Super, super, super loud as well, especially in winter when the roads are just horrible. And I mean, that wasn't even winter then. And this is going to be my daily. I was going to drive this pretty much every day. I know I've got the Ineos Grenadier as well, but I use that for more like when I need to pick up a bunch of stuff or take family places. We had it for about an hour, and I just didn't, I mean, if I wanted it as like a specific sports car where I was going to hoon around in it, insane. It was dialed, the handling was incredible, but the ride was just so harsh. And I just didn't gel with it as a daily. And I do a lot of miles because I go back and forth to see my parents a lot. I just couldn't see us driving it. And the most important factor as well is that Domi, my fiance, hated it. She was scared in the passenger seat. I'm a good driver. I was enthusiastically driving, but it's the first time she's ever got in a car with me, and she was scared. And for me, unfortunately, for the Porsche, it was an instant no. So I even tried the 992.2 variant. I mean, to be honest with you, that was way out of my price range, because even a base Carrera, which we drove, was £120,000, and so we went with the base model, and it didn't have the PASM, so it was lower suspension. So it was a bit more comfortable, but it was just a bit soulless. The engine didn't really sound that great. I mean, it was okay, but I don't really like the high-pitched sound of the flat six that much. I mean, I like it when it's the GT3, that's great, but this one, it just sounded a bit artificial. And I just couldn't justify the money, even for a second-hand 992 Carrera S. I was looking at about 80 to 90 grand for a decent example, and even then had like 20 to 30,000 miles. And I just couldn't do it, and mainly due to the factors that I told you before. So we then looked at a AMG GT. Was beautiful, but we went to a car dealership which was I'm not going to mention the name of them, but we went there, we looked at the car. One, they didn't even let me drive it, so I had to be in the passenger seat while he drove me around the industrial estate. And this is the first time I've ever seen the car or been in an AMG GT, and I wasn't about to just say yes on a car that I hadn't even driven. And he said to me there, I was like, okay, we're going to go. After he took us both out in it, I said, we need to think about it. He said, I'm going to put you on the spot. You need to make a decision right now. And we were like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, I'm just going to sell it to the next guy. We've got 2 people who are waiting to come and get it. So he was like, fine, give it to them. And then he went back on it and was like, no, I'll give you until tomorrow. Well, it was just an instant no from us because I didn't want to deal with them. And I found out that they had a bunch of dodgy reviews with selling dodgy cars. I mean, this was a really clean example, but the funniest part is that car was then still on the website for another 4 months. So he obviously didn't have another buyer. But I kind of got put off I didn't get put off the Mercedes, I just wanted something a little bit different. Because I already owned a Mercedes before, yes, not an AMG GT. So I went to its cousin, the V8 Vantage, and it was a great car, but I just did not gel with the interior. I did not like it. I didn't even have Apple CarPlay. You could get it as an option for like an extra £1,000, but paying that much for a car, come on, it needs Apple CarPlay. And I just didn't like the interior. It was just dated, but like not in this way where everything works. It just seemed too many buttons. It was overcomplicated, and I just didn't really enjoy it that much. And it was, the powertrain was great, but being rear-wheel drive, I wasn't, especially when in England it's mainly horrible weather. It was quite a handful, and I wanted something with a bit more security, so four-wheel drive. So I was twiddling my thumbs. And then my buddy, my best friend, has a F-Type. He has a 2015 V6. He was like, why don't you try an F-Type? Just try, I know you want a tan interior car. Check out the F-Type V8. So we did, and here we are. Now the one we test drove was actually an F-Type R, and the R was originally the one I wanted, but after extensive research and speaking to a Jaguar technician, I found out that the R and the P450, which this one is, or the 75 and the R75, is exactly the same car. Exactly the same engine, exactly the same supercharger, exactly the same injectors, brakes, suspension, but the only thing they do is they detune the engine. So essentially, buying this, I'm saving £20,000 or £15,000 on the second-hand market. And if I want to make this an R, there is a F-Type specialist tuning garage that will just retune it to the R specifics. The R power level, which is 575 horsepower. And apart from, the only difference is, apart from the tune, are cosmetic, so there's a few body panels at the front and the rear, and the R badges. So for me, it was a no-brainer, and I managed to save a lot of money by getting this one. And you can't tell. And to be honest with you, this car, for being 450 horsepower and apparently only going to 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, I think there have been a lot of dynos on this, and they have been producing closer to 500, but this engine is the R engine in a straitjacket. And after Domi, I was really heart set on the R, but she was like, it's the same car, just get it. And we did it. I've saved a ton of money, closer to £20,000 for the equivalent R, and it's great. I mean, I managed to pick this up for a steal, because we bought it up north. Yes, to the car and to the driving. Now, again, I'm trying to find some good roads, but what I'll do, I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it, but I'm going to downshift a little bit. I've got the exhaust open. I'm not even in sport mode. This thing will just... Oh, that is the main reason I bought this car, is for the sound. It's just the most raw thing in the world. I mean, I'm going to do a few downshifts here. I'm going to throw it into sport. We're in first gear. With every upshift, it's just like lightning and thunder going off. Crack-a-boom, and it throws you back. I mean, this is a quick car. And it's just so enjoyable. I mean, coming from an Audi RS5, which was literally dialed in, it was kind of too good. There was no playfulness to it. It was quick, and it will go anywhere with that four-wheel drive quattro system. But this, I think it only sends 30% of the power to the front wheels, so it is very, very playful. But still has tons of grip. It's got a ZF 8-speed transmission, which, to be honest with you, is super fast. I mean, I don't think you need, unless you're doing track driving, you won't need anything quicker. And when you want to be comfortable, you throw it into comfort mode, and it's a great GT cruiser. This car is just, it does everything, and I'm just so impressed with it, and I'm so happy that I managed to get it, because it's a wonderful bit of kit, and it's just a shame they don't sell them anymore. I mean, I'm just happy I managed to get into them, because I spent 4 months trying to find one with a tan interior, because when people get one with a tan interior, they don't sell it, because this engine has gone extinct. They are no longer producing the 5-litre supercharged V8, and I don't think any car manufacturers will be producing a supercharged V8 anymore, because, you know, everything's going hybridized with the new emissions and laws, and everything's being turbocharged. And this is the closest thing to a naturally aspirated V8 that you can find now in today's market. And it's great. I mean, the driving dynamics, I mean, all I say, and you'll say this, all the car reviewers will say this, just get inside one and drive one, and you'll see what all the fuss is about, because I think the F-Type gets overhated. So I was trying to let someone go, and you said no. It gets overhated just because, you know, Jag's reputation of reliability and build quality and all this, but the F-Types are solid, especially the 5-litre V8, and I've had this for a month and I've had no problems, apart from, I will be honest, there's a bit of trim on the outside, the window sills that needs to be pushed in, and the seat, a little bit of the seat trimming. You'll actually see this on Carwell's video of the review of this. Same thing happened to this car, so we're gonna have to get that sorted, but other than that, this car is just a dream and a pleasure to drive. And when you hoon it round the corners, it's so fun. I mean, the sound alone is enough to put a smile on anyone's face. My fiance absolutely loves it, and she wasn't that. She never was impressed by cars, and then she got in this one, and she was like, "Wow, I like this engine." And to quote her, she said, "Oh, I think I'm a V8 girl," which sold this car. I know the Aston and the Aston and the Mercedes were V8s, but they weren't. They weren't this special. But I'm just going to overtake this cyclist. Every single time. And when you downshift as well, it'll crack and pop. Wait, see it? Well, there's someone behind me, but as you can tell, look, we're in first gear now. Oh! It skimps and jumps. It is very, very playful. I mean, I think it's got Pirelli P0s on, which aren't the best tyre. Personally, I think some Michelins would be a lot better. I've seen that on the forums. They're much more grippy because it does tend to slip quite a bit, but it just adds to the fun a little bit. So guys, got lots planned with this car. First up, it's going to be a wrap. Then it's going to be tuned up to 600 horsepower, and that is within its like comfortable area. So this engine is normally producing 575. They squeeze a little bit more out, and these cars on stock internals can produce anything up to 650, 700. So 600 will be absolutely fine, and it will handle it really well. I can't wait to show you. That is going to be a beast. But guys, if you do want more car content, let me know, because I love doing car stuff. But yeah, that's our F-Type. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.